Hey, what's up there? Welcome to Mahogany Sweets. Make sure that y'all hit that subscribe button. So, I wanted to come to y'all and tell y'all, yes, I'm talking to the Beehive and the whole Vengers. Jay Z made Beyonce. I'm going to tell you how he made Beyonce, or should I say why, the evidence on the table of how he made Beyonce and why Beyonce will not ever leave Jay Z. So, let's get started. Beyonce started out in a group. It was a messy ass group. It was a revolving door in that group, Destiny's Child. Um, and she was messy. Believe it or not, y'all need to go back. She was a diva. She was cutthroat. She was rude and mean to the other ladies. All of that, and it was messy. And they would do interviews. She would show all that bad attitude, and people were starting not to like the group, and specifically not like Beyonce, because of her diva attitude and her messy antics within the group and how she presented herself to others. So, just in case y'all don't know that, go back and look at those old Destiny Child interviews, and then you will see that she was a mean girl, she was messy, and that people were not really vibing or liking her like that, okay? So, anyway, she went on later, which her father was the manager and put together and the investor of that group. Well, later, Jay Z comes into the place, right? He comes into play. They meet. This was behind the scenes because it was a minute before they came out publicly as a couple, but Jay Z had already begun and they had already had the conversation. He was going to make her a solo artist. He was going to rebrand her because Beyonce went under a massive rebrand when she got with Jay Z. Please, like I said, go back for y'all Beehive people who don't want to acknowledge the truth that Jay Z made her. Go back and look. Everything I'm about to tell you can be verified through footage, through interviews, through songs, all of that. He rebranded her. He put her together a team, and he took her to the next level. Beyonce would not be where she is without Jay Z. So, like I said, if you look back at old interviews with her and Destiny's Child, she was very messy, had a real nasty attitude. People were being turned off by her. She got with Jay Z. He fine tuned her. He chipped off those rough edges and taught her how to balance being having the right attitude as a mega global superstar with mystery on a pedestal, something not easy to access, while also teaching her to have the character of seeming humble, down to earth, very gracious. Beyonce had neither one of those, did not know how to do either one of those until she got with Jay Z, which Jay Z already knew how to do that and was maneuvering himself like that, his own self. Now, also, Jay Z is the brains behind that operation. Believe it or not, he's the brains behind it, and I already showed you one way you would be able to see that if you go back and look at even just her attitude and how she behaved and how she spoke. Totally switched up after she got with Jay Z. She was smart enough to be able to go to Jay Z and say, "Here, I want to be a global massive superstar," and he said, "I could do that for you. Follow my lead and listen." And she did, and that is how she got there. So he took her from her father. He fine tuned her because, right, she was very talented. I'm not saying he gave her talent. No, she knew that she wanted to be a singer, that she was a singer, that she wanted to be a performer. She trained herself to do both of those things very well. I'm just saying she did not have the business savvy or the smartness to know how to have the right attitude and business acumen to get to where she wanted to be. Jay Z is the one who had that. So she went to him and he said, "Okay, I'll do the rest for you," which he did. So, if you look at the initial songs that they get together, they actually told you what was happening. Listen, Jay Z said himself, he said, "Do you fools listen to music or do you just skim through it?" In the music, pretty much all artists do this, but specifically them two, to my point, they tell you what's going on in their songs, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. So in the song Upgrade You, listen to Upgrade You, take another look at that song. Jay Z pretty much wrote that entire song, both of their halves, and he threw her a little bit of like, yeah, okay, she upgraded me. But the truth behind that song was Jay Z upgrading, elevating her life. The only part that Beyonce played in elevating Jay Z was giving him a good look and having a partner to build and have all of this with, right? Other than that, though, there was really no way that she upgraded him. She just kind of, after he cleaned her up and gave her that clean, fine-tuned look and character of being a very graceful, humble, kind, talented woman. Because like I said before, people had started not looking at her talent, and they were just looking at the fact that she had a bad attitude, that she was mistreating the girls in the group, and that's all evident if you go back and look. So she just added on that, okay, I got this woman on my arm who's very talented, gracious, and I'm going to make her this superstar and sexual icon who girls want to be and who men want to have, which will give a man a good look. And so listen to upgrade you. He spoke of how he was upgrading her. That's what they were talking about. He told her, I will upgrade you. He kept his promises. And then listen to the other song that they did. All I remember in the video is it was doing or whatever. I'm not a singer. So in that song by itself, that was also what they were talking about in the video. You look at the video showing you. She go and get into the car. He say, B, are you ready? As you see, after she gets into the car with him, he blows her up. She comes out in the fur. She doing a sexy dance. She has the girls behind her doing her dance and this and that. That was the symbolization of him blowing up her career, making her an idolized human being, an idol to the young girls. That's why now they're following her, doing the dances that she's doing and singing a song. It was a symbolization of him taking her to the next level, making her this massive global superstar. And all of that. And if you listen to some of their other songs, I believe they had a couple of others that was symbolizing that as well. And it also was a symbolization of him making her this sex icon to men. It's all inside that one song by itself, actually. All of that, as far as the girls wanting to be her, the men wanting to have sex with her, and Jay Z blowing her career up to the next level. Now, that's one instance. I can tell you other people who he blew up and made superstars. Jay Z not only made himself a superstar, because when he left Dame Dash kept trying to say, oh, I made Jay Z this and the other. And Jay Z told him, well, go and make another one then if you made me. Dame couldn't do that because he didn't make him. Jay Z made himself. Then he made Beyonce into a massive star. He made Rihanna into a global massive star. If you do not believe that, Rihanna, before Jay Z went to her, or she went to him begging for a deal and signed that contract, they were about to drop Rihanna from Def Jam. Tiara Marie was supposed to have the seat that Rihanna is in today. She went and made that deal with Jay Z, and Jay Z gave her what she wanted. He made her a global superstar. And if you don't believe so, before Rihanna got with Jay Z, she was nothing to look at. Like, just go look at her appearance in itself and her music. It was totally different from once she got with Jay Z, who also did the same with Beyonce. Her appearance, her talk, her lingo, all of that changed once she got with Jay Z, and Jay Z put that team around her. Same with Rihanna. Rihanna was about to be dropped. Jay Z saved Rihanna's career and then made her a global massive superstar. Same with Kanye West. Kanye West was not getting the attention, was not even being allowed to even sit on a track. Other than produce a track, that was all he was able to do. It was Jay Z who said, okay, here, I'm just split from Dame Dash. You're coming with me, because Kanye chose to want to go with Jay Z, and Jay Z made him a massive global superstar. J. Cole would not be where he's at without Jay Z. Drake would not be where he is at without Jay Z, because although Drake is a child of Kanye West, he is a student of Jay Z, and it is a lot of parallels in there that will prove that as well. So Jay Z did make Beyonce. He made himself, and he made other superstars. He's done it more than once. Okay. When you look at Jay Z, right? Jay Z was a street thug hustler dude. But the only difference between a street thug kingpin and a CEO of a corporation is that one's in a suit and one's working supposedly on the books and the other one's not. But no, they are the same. When you go to a kingpin and you go have a meeting with a drug kingpin or a street dude, and then have a meeting with one of these CEOs over these global companies, they are the exact same people, which is why Jay Z was so easily able to ingratiate himself with that world, because he's already was a businessman. You're still doing business in the streets, and them people high up there, they doing business off the books, and are street dudes, whether you want to believe it or not, are too as well. You get what I'm saying? Go read up on some of these companies and corporations and the stuff that they be doing. They're thugs. Believe that. They're thugs in suits. So That's why it was so easy, and why Jay Z is such a successful businessman and is able to relate to them. And because they all sharks, and it's a shark eat shark world. They all about their bottom line, that green dollar. So they mesh well together, and there was no easy for him to make that transition. He already was business savvy. He already knew numbers. So this is the same thing. It's just under a different umbrella, basically. So this other thing that Jay Z has. Jay Z is a lyricist, right? A lot of people, y'all probably don't look at him or understand him or see him as a lyricist, but he's a lyricist. And what other things that make him so brilliant in music and the way that he writes his music is he writes it dumbed down for the easy listener to get and understand. But every bar that he writes has a double entendre, sometimes a triple entendre, to where the more thoughtful and rap purists would be able to find actually a deeper meaning and saying out of those same exact words, that same exact sentence. And the reason why he did that is because a lot of people, which was a struggle with some people making music, and why sometimes they was having to choose a side, was some people were saying, we don't want to have to think or break down lyrics when we listen to a song. Where you have the other people where, no, they want the metaphors, they want the double entendres, they want the deepness, the substance behind their music. Jay Z has mastered, and probably what I would look to say is the only one who has mastered being able to make the exact same song to where that purist street person can get it and pick up the gems in it, as well as the let's say hippie type of person will hear that same song and they relate to it just on a different level. They relate to it on a surface level, where the hip hop purist is going to relate to it on another one. And that's how he's a lyricist, a great lyricist or whatever, and great in music, and why he's revered and respected as that. Also, he knew how to adapt to the times. Something also that he taught other artists, specifically Beyonce. He taught Beyonce how to adapt with the times. If this is the way and curvature that music is going, if this is the new sounds that people are liking, here, we need to jump on that. That's what we need to do. We need to bridge gaps. Bridge gaps. Yeah, well, yeah, that's it. We need to make bridges with people in different genres, or people who are specific to this sound. So if the South is what's jumping down here, let's go do some collaborations with them. Let's go get some of their beat makers and make songs like that. Hey, if people riding with the Caribbean right now, so that was another thing that kept him on longevity. Is he knew how to adapt to the times, to the new sound, to the new waves, and even to the new artists. He would go in the new hottest. Not only will he make hot artists, but he will also go and collaborate with new hot artists. He will also go and sign new hot artists. Okay, which is also something that he taught Beyonce to do to keep longevity in your career. Something that he also taught Drake to do to keep longevity in his career. Same with Kanye. That's why he went and made the song with, I think, the kid named Trippie Redd and stuff. They're smart enough to know, how do we introduce ourselves now to the younger generation to stay alive in the game? Let's go and grab or sign new artists that are from the younger generation that people are listening to. So now we have the exposure. We are now exposed to a newer generation in music. That was from Jay Z. Jay Z is the one that did that. So in lyricism, he learned how to make a song where all different type of listeners could relate and adapt to it. He knew how to adapt to the times, new sounds. He knew how to go and make a bridge with younger artists or artists from different genres to give himself more visibility, to give himself more longevity, to give himself new fans. Also, the great thing about Jay Z and what he did, his business sense. Like I said, he's business savvy. He has been wise enough to sign lucrative deals and know how to look over a contract and make sure that it works in his best interest. He also did that for Beyonce, because guess what? If I signed and Kanye West and Rihanna, because if I sign these artists, I need them to be eating and in good contracts, because he's eating off of them as well. So, and he did this also for himself. Even artists that's not even signed to him go to him to ask him to look over their contracts and to even get him out of them, because that's how business savvy he is. So he knows what to look for in a fine print and what to put in a fine print to make sure he's not being screwed in these contracts. Beyonce would not have the lucrative deals that she has had throughout her career since being with him if she was not with him. He is the brains behind the operation. Y'all might not want to believe that, but it's true. That's the other reason why she would never leave him, because he is the brain. She needs him. The only way them two will ever be split up for any reason would be death. That's about it. Now, I say she probably right clip him, but that death will be the only thing that will break them two up. They're not going to leave each other. She needs him too much. He's too valuable to her fortress, as she calls it, to let him go, which is why she did not leave him, would never leave him. Jay Z had been cheating on her for years. She looked at it now and he allowed her to do it because, right, this can make us money. People interested in this, so this can make us money. Or maybe he began to get disrespectful about it and she was like, well, I'm putting the song, and he said, sure, here, let's make us some money. But this other thing I want you to look at that he taught her. Lemonade is a double entendre album. It is not just about Jay Z cheating on her. She is speaking about the industry that she's married into. She's speaking to the powers that be, her secret society that she's a part of, that she has married and put everything into. Go back and listen to Lemonade. She's not just talking to Jay Z and her cheating husband. She's also talking about the industry. Like, it's kind of like his song Holy Grail, which was a double entendre, where he talked about you eat the food right out of my mouth and I'll let you. Well, actually, he was talking to a few people in that. He was talking to the industry and how he felt they was doing him, talking about fame, fortune, and being on top of this music world, being high celebrity as far as it cheating on him. Like, okay, y'all crowning other people, we're still here. Okay, because Jay Z's the king, Beyonce is the queen, and I'm talking about in the music industry, they were anyway. But that's the reason why she made that song, like, well, album pretty much, because it wasn't just about Jay Z. It's like, okay, y'all crowning other people in the industry. I've given my all into this, and now I feel like you're cheating on me with these new artists that's coming in that y'all crowning. They gave a deal, what, 8 awards or something like that. She was speaking also to that. Like, no, I gotta sit here while y'all awarding and crowning all these people when I'm married to you. I'm the baddest in the game. I'm paying my blood, sweat, and tears. I'm doing the most as far as and being the best at my craft. So she was also speaking about that. And same with him and Holy Grail. He was talking to Kanye West in that song and a bit to Beyonce. And then also to the industry, feeling as if the industry is taking the food out his mouth and putting it in someone else's belly, like crowning other people in the industry. But anyways, so he told her that Jay Z is the man who's in the mindset of money and business and logic above all else. Jay Z is not the type of person who gives into his emotion, which is the reason why him and Kanye start to clash, because we know Kanye is highly emotional. Jay Z is very minimally emotional. He does not move off emotion. He very seldom even give them validation. That's why he started going to therapy to try and understand and see things and look at this like, oh, okay, we in a real marriage. Oh shit, I'm supposed to love you. Because for Jay Z, everything is about business, money, and what makes sense. Everything else is to him is bullshit. But anyway, I guess with him having a child and being under there, he like, no, I need to learn how to love, and everything can't be about what makes sense and logistics. Okay, I have to give room for some emotion. Which might be why him and Kanye might eventually make up, because he might be able to relate and understand Kanye's emotion a bit. But also, he taught Kanye this. Kanye still remained emotional, but Kanye, as a Beyonce did, they learned to smarten up and let me use some logistics with my emotion and see how it can benefit me, make me money, make me get me to where I need to be. Which Jay Z, since he taught them business and how that is most important, don't let emotion fuck up business and bottom lines. They began learn how to use their emotion and their feelings to also make them money and make sense to their projects or whatever. But he has done so much for not just his career, making himself a mogul and an icon. He's done it for other people too. They follow after him. They look to him. They need him, specifically Beyonce. That's why y'all be trying to say, oh, Jay-Z holding on to Beyonce coattail and she giving him a lifesaver or whatever. So what if she is? First off, she needs him more than he needs her, and that's number one. Well, at this point, yeah, I would still say so. Because he would just be a divorced man, and it's a million women that want Gwyneth Paltrow for one. It's a million women that want to replace Beyonce anyway. He would be fine without her. As long as he continues to take care of his children and stuff. And he's not messy anyway, so you won't have to worry about that. But, oh, the other thing that Beyonce learned from him. Beyonce is still that jealous, mean girl. She ain't always been. Like I said, he just taught her how to clean it up and how you can't be like that. You got to be America's darling. Jay Z is the type, he handle his battles behind. He does not fight his battles with fists, and sometimes not even his words, because that's what y'all need to find. Every battle ain't physical. It's not for you to fight physical. It's about outmaneuvering, outsmarting your opponent on a mental, psychological, and even a business level, since they in this type of industry. So Jay Z doesn't handle his rivalries the way that you see an emotional Meek Mill do, or the way that you see an emotional Cardi B do. He's not going to. He's smarter than that. He's too smart for all of that. So the Jay Z handles his warfare on pen and paper and with money. He does not handle it with his fists, and them they're not, even though he has stabbed people before. I know all that, but I'm just saying, like, as he has matured, and after that, what he learned from it is, no, I'm not fighting any more battles with my fists and safety in that sense. It's gonna be handled through the mind, psychologically. He's ended people's career. He's shelf artist. He has box people into where they can't make money on the streets anymore. And he has taught Beyonce that. Beyonce has ended other people's careers, her rivalry's career, and she learned how to do it, which somewhat seeming like she's clean. Her hands are clean through following and being mentored under a Jay Z who does that shit every single day in his sleep. Okay. So I'm telling you, Jay Z a real threat. Don't be scared of the one that's trigger happy and put a trigger. Be scared of the one to where you would never know and see him coming, because you could cross Jay Z and he will smile in your face, shake your hand, and you don't even know that he just signed your death certificate. Like, it's a wrap. So as much as respected and love as I got for him as being a brilliant business savvy man and being musically brilliant, he is a snake. Like, he is a snake. But like I say, that man's a true threat. I wouldn't want to be on his bad side any day. And the sad thing about it is, you can end up on his bad side and not even know you are. That's what's scary. But anyway, so he has trained, taught, and builded and blew up Beyonce into what she is today. And y'all don't want to acknowledge or look at it like that, but she knows how much she needs him, so she'll never leave him. And if she needs to be his umbrella, his protection for right now, to get him through whatever he's going through, he deserves that. She wouldn't be where she is without him anyway. So how's y'all looking at him talking about, he just hanging on to her coat feathers? And he the one who gave her the coat feathers for him to be able to hang on. I better be able to build something up like this and then be able to use you when I need you. He the only reason why she there. Y'all might not want to see it that way, but y'all better look. Y'all better go look at Jay Z resume. Like, he keeps things like quiet and low key, but I'm telling you, really look and dig into his resume. He's nothing to joke with, and he has created a lot of stars, mega stars. He ended them. He's that dude. Okay, these people wouldn't be getting these lucrative deals. They would be getting spent and played in contracts if it wasn't for Jay Z. Jay Z did that for. That's why you got Taylor Swift crying about her crappy deals. You don't hear Beyonce crying about a crappy deal. You don't hear Kanye crying about a crappy deal. Now, him and his fashion world, that's something completely different. That was something he went off and did on his own. But I'm talking about his musically. You don't see him crying about crappy deals. You don't hear Rihanna crying about no damn crappy deals. J. Cole. He's business savvy. He's very, very smart. He is very, very talented, and he knows all the lanes. Like I said, he even knew how to socially give them that approach. Like, go look at Rihanna when she got with him, her old image, because he gave her a rebrand as well. He gave Kanye West a rebrand, and if you pay attention, he has continued to rebrand himself from level to level, and he's brilliant at that. Stop sleeping on Jay Z. Okay, some people on Jay Z, son. I think that's how they talk in New York. I don't know, but anyway. Those are my reasons and my theory of how I can tell you that Jay Z made Beyonce, and why Beyonce will never leave him, because she needs him. She will not survive contractually or creatively without him. He is who has taught her, trained her how to stay alive in this industry, how to get the best contracts, how to deal with her rivalries in the industry, stuff like that. Oh, and that's the other thing. He know how to keep his ducks in a row and keep them in line. That was something that Drake later was able to smarten up and look at Jay Z, because Drake also is a student under him in business and in music and all of that. Drake messed up, and he went and later repented to Jay Z after, but him and Jay Z kind of fell out because Jay Z told him about that Apple deal, and Drake allowed his ego to get in the way. He did not listen to what Jay Z was telling him, and then he later turned around and he did it on a song, basically apologizing like, "Damn, you was right. Okay, I'm with you. This and other." But Drake was on one of those tips of like the student has now outmastered the master type of thing, and then he played it so because he wasn't right. Jay Z was right, and then he later had to turn around and admit that and fall back. And the other thing is, Jay Z has always known how to handle his enemies and how to keep them in positions for him to know what they're doing, what's going on, and how to use them to his own benefit. Well, Drake didn't pay attention in class that day because he let all his enemies get out of control, and half of them he didn't even know that they were enemies because he wasn't paying attention. He had got so far up his ass he wasn't paying attention, which is why all of Wyoming, I mean, all of the industry was in Wyoming with Kanye West after Kanye West sent the sniper Pusha T with him. And then he later realized, that's why he later went and started bridging some gaps. He went to Jay Z to get that verse on Talk Up, which I love, to basically still give him a stamp of approval by Jay Z, a big homie. And I believe that Jay Z said, okay, you got to make it with Meek Mill. I will give you the verse if you make it with Meek Mill. So Drake said, cool, I'm going to make up with Meek Mill. I'm going to take off his band from Canada. I do a song with him. You know what I'm saying? Do it like that. But that was because he had let herself get too many enemies. Jay Z has always been smart and brilliant enough to know how to deal with his enemies and how to get people for loyalty. Like Beyonce and Rihanna, them hoes don't like each other, believe it or not. Behind the scenes, they do not care for each other. They are each other's, to a degree, direct competition. But they're under Jay Z. And Jay Z keep his hoes in line, okay? But Jay Z was always smart and knew how to handle his enemies. He knew how not to let it get out of hand with having too many of them. And he knew how to handle the ones that he did have. He also knew how to befriend. You know the saying, my enemy is my friend. He also knew how to cleverly work that. But Jay Z knew that I have to let other people eat. Right? Jay Z always fed other people. Although it was some he let starve, he fed enough people to keep his enemy situation from getting out of hand. Drake had stopped doing that, and he was letting people out here starve in the industry, and that's what put all them buzz eyes on his head. And that's why after he took that bro and realized, like, okay, damn, I set myself up. He went back to the class of Jay Z and looked and said, oh, okay, I wasn't letting anybody eat, wasn't letting enough people eat. Let me go and mend some of these fences with these dudes so they can eat and I can get some people back on my side. But he also need to pay attention to the class of Jay Z of knowing how to bring people in. Like Jay Z is very smart and savvy and charismatic of knowing which ones you get with the honey and the love, which ones you get with the fear, which ones you get with like the prestigious. He knows what to give out to different individuals to gain their loyalty, their trust, or gain them to be a warrior in his army. Where Drake still totally hasn't mastered that. Drake and Jay Z has mastered on how to use them without them exactly feeling used or being okay with the weight and level of which he's using them. But you take a Drake for example. Okay, I'm gonna sign you as an artist, which Jay Z has done that before. He signed his competition before and then shelved them to get them off the streets. But Drake say, okay, I'm gonna sign these people as artists, and then I'm gonna drain them dry, bleed them dry of their creativity, their music, to bolster me up without giving anything back to them. And I just feel like this Drake don't know how to. He still hadn't mastered how he's supposed to do all this and run this. Like if you see Jay Z, yeah, he showed some artists, but it was a lot that he signed where he gave them attention. He put funding behind them. He gave them a spotlight, chance and opportunity to shine. He co-signed them and stuff. Who has Drake put on and done that for? That's what I'm saying. He made too many enemies in too many ways where Jay Z was smart enough not to do that. So all of these artists haven't exactly paid attention to everything that Jay Z's taught them, but it's more than a lot who have. That's why he got so much respect in the industry. So many people want to work with him. So many people who have signed to him. He has helped so many people get their masters. He has helped so many people get out of bad contracts, get their independence, get equity, get royalties and stuff, because he has always been brilliant and smart on that tip. But he's also had so many people who have learned from his way of doing music, how to keep longevity, how to adapt, and how to sign and build the actual label. Like, he's done all of that. So this is why Jay Z is so revered in hip hop and just in the industry altogether. And this is why Beyonce will stick with a man who has been cheating on her for years, because she knows she needs him to stay where she's at and to get where she still wants to go. She needs him by her side. So she's not going to leave him. Plus, like I said, that was a double entendre. Lemonade was a double entendre album. It was not specific to Jay-Z cheating on her. It was also talking about the industry cheating on her, and giving the spotlight and attention to other female artists who I guess she feels are not on her level or as big as her, or can do what she can do, or have done and given what she has given and done. So that's all. Just wanted to let y'all know. Stop playing around and sleeping on Jay-Z. And Beyonce ain't no dummy. She know he's the brains behind her operation. The only thing that'll be splitting them up is death. And that's about it. Go back and look at her old interviews and her type of attitude, who she was before she signed to him. Go back and look at her collaborations with Jay-Z once her career started hitting off. They give you the symbolization of what's going on and what they're talking about in the actual video, along with the words. Jay-Z upgraded her. Jay-Z elevated her career and took her to global stardom. He put a whole new team around her. He rebranded her image and her likeness. He taught her how to be a global superstar. And then he invested and put her in the right places with the right team to get to there. And he has continued to do that for her. So, that's all.